art project called Dolly had to do with a very tragic element in my life. And that was my husband got very sick. It's now already like, I think, 8 years ago or 9 years ago. When I just actually was pregnant. I also have a daughter, and I'm a mommy as well. And then after some years of struggling already, they diagnosed my husband with the disease called ALS, which attacks your nerve system. And literally, they told us your husband is just maximum gonna live 5 years or even less, and those years are gonna be years of full deterioration and just crumbling down of all his capacities, and he will end up with an apparatus to breathe and in a wheelchair. So, and very quick after the diagnosis, all these things happened, and where I had to become the caretaker of my husband, and I literally had to grow myself into a stronger being to being able to cope with that kind of future that was just like a future going down into a dark abyss. And we had a small, sweet little daughter who was growing up, and in order to face this pain of loss that was at hand, and also the horror of all the things, my husband was in pain. He literally couldn't lift his arm anymore, and in the end I had to feed him, put him in bed every day, help him wash. So in order to cope with that harshness as a young woman, I sort of created Dolly as a sort of a space of imagination and escape where there could be a stronger woman dealing with it. It was not, my normal name is Elisabeth. It was not Elisabeth who was helping her crumbling husband. It was super heroine Dolly who could do it. And I was literally training my body not just to become a beautiful sculpture, but also to become a strong hero that could literally lift my husband in bed. And also I had to train this muscle of my heart to being able to bury that horrible future. And I literally needed it. I think if I didn't do this whole process, I might have gone ill too, or depressed, or because being surrounded with the threat of death every day, because everything could go wrong every single minute, that it does something to you. And it made me feel life's vulnerability and mortality very strong in every second. And in order not to succumb to that horror of that, I wanted to create an opposing force, which was this lustful Dolly, full of energy and power, and full of expression also, because the lyrics I was writing were also about dealing with loss, or dealing with these things, or dealing with sexuality, because being surrounded by sickness is also not that nice for your sexual growth. And being on stage as a performer and being desired by an audience and dressing up like that and looking like that was for me a solution to still feel young and alive, and also just be myself. So I wanted to just become this transcendent superhuman who could do what a normal human usually suffers hard with. And of course I still suffered, and in the end it's 2 years ago that my husband died also, and that was a horrible process. It's something I still grieve so deeply over, and but at the same time I try to sort of pour all these things into my art, and I think that's the only way to sort of cope with it. But Dolly also, and most specifically, grew out of that. So I want you to know about this. So I'll